This is the NewsFeed at 4.
The death of a student on the A&M campus has police investigating the incident. And a suspect is in custody following a shooting at the state fair, bringing new safety concerns for the future. Plus, the holiday spending has begun, but who are consumers buying for? All this coming up. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us on the NewsFeed at 4. I'm Victor Aldana.
And I'm Isabel Price.
It's 15 feet long, 7 feet high, weighing more than 7,000 pounds and costing $250,000. The new Siemens Symbia Evo Gamma camera was the star of the show at TCC Trinity River East open house last month. The device is the crown jewel of the college's nuclear medicine technology program, which is one of 4 such programs in Texas and the only one in North Texas based on a campus. Unlike traditional X-ray imaging, the camera employs a radioactive substance, but the substance is placed inside the patient's body rather than an external mechanism. The Gamma camera rotates around the patient, detecting photons emitted from the patient and converting them into multiple images, much like a computerized tomography or CT scan.
We'd like to invite everyone to the annual Fall Fest next Friday the 27th here on the Northeast campus. Fall Fest will run from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. An entire slate of events and activities will be available along with student organizations, community businesses, free food, games, and a DJ. Also, there will be tables featuring universities' reps and campus resources. Mark it down next Friday the 27th from 5:30 to 8. Frightening moments at the State Fair of Texas on Saturday, where people began running for the exits after hearing gunfire coming from the food court. Police say 3 people were shot and suffered non-serious injuries. Soon after the shooting, Dallas police arrested 22-year-old Cameron Turner, charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault. The suspect tells police that he was just defending himself. Turner said he was approached by a group of men while buying water at a concession stand. When he walked away, a man identified as Cade Kelly approached him. Police records show they exchanged a few words. Turner brandished a handgun and started shooting. 3 victims are still in the hospital and are expected to be okay.
And after this shooting, questions have come up about the State Fair's new safety protocols. Now the fair does allow guns, but only with a concealed carry permit, which Turner did not have. So people ask the obvious questions: how did the gun get in? Jeff Kottner, director of security for the fair, says they still don't know how Turner got the gun onto fair grounds. Kottner says in the time since the shooting, they've made subtle changes like new fences at the main entrances and increased security presence.
Texas A&M says a freshman is dead after falling from a dorm balcony. The school identifies her as Brittany Romero, a health major. Campus police confirm they're investigating the death. And the school says a justice of peace has ordered an autopsy. Texas A&M is offering sympathy to Romero's family and counseling to the students.
People in a San Antonio neighborhood are dealing with a shocking crime: the brutal murder of a 65-year-old man and his dog inside their home. Police have a suspect in custody, and investigators are still trying to figure out what sparked the vicious killings. Katrina Weber has more.
A cool, clear morning didn't hide the dark details of what happened in this neighborhood just a few miles from Joint Base San Antonio Lackland. At a home in the 2100 block of San Lucas Street, San Antonio police uncovered a murder they say was especially brutal. They believe 35-year-old Bradley Dimmick not only killed a man and his dog last Friday, but in a sense butchered them.
Sad. It's really sad.
This neighbor out walking his own dog this morning was still shocked by it all.
Hard to speak words that add or subtract on that. I don't know what to tell you.
An arrest affidavit, though, tells it all. Some details are too gory to share, but police did say the 65-year-old man who was murdered was decapitated. The report says they found Dimmick about a mile from the home. Police say a call here in the 500 block of Demya is what first drew their attention to Dimmick. They had a report of someone walking around looking into cars. They say when they tried to question him about it, he suddenly blurted out that he had killed someone. Initially, officers had trouble believing him, then made the disturbing discovery at the home. The crime scene they set up kept Pete DeNeergaard's family from getting home.
There was a blockade from this stump to that tree stump over there, and the police wouldn't let him come in.
Dimmick, meanwhile, can't get out of jail without posting bonds of $1.5 million.
China continues to push the limits of our own military, but they refuse to comment. Find out more when the NewsFeed at 4 returns.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
I tell my son, I love you every single day.
I love you.
Now, my dad has never said that to me. Not because he doesn't love me, but because culturally it wasn't comfortable for him. Now that he's a grandfather, he says, I love you to my son every time he sees him. My advice to all the fathers out there, forget the cultural restrictions. They grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Come on! Go, Diane! Yeah, keep it going! Yeah! Go, honey!
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane! Woo! You got this!
In the wake of last weekend's terror attack in Israel, the United States has imposed sanctions on 10 members of Hamas yesterday. The Treasury Department says those sanctioned include those associated with Hamas's secret investment portfolio, 2 senior Hamas officials, a Gaza-based currency exchange, and its operator. Senior Treasury officials plan to travel to the region to continue to coordinate with partners to track, to freeze, and seize Hamas-related assets. The Pentagon released video Tuesday that shows Chinese pilots getting dangerously close to a U.S. aircraft. In one of those encounters, a Chinese jet can be seen firing flares. Defense officials say these types of incidents have happened more than 180 times in the past 2 years. Military leaders are calling on China to stop the behavior, but Beijing cut off communications with the U.S. military after Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan last year when she was House Speaker. Requests for engagement since have gone unanswered. 2 weeks and counting since Representative Kevin McCarthy was ousted as House Speaker, and the vacancy has yet to be filled. Republican Representative Jim Jordan has fallen short for his bid, due mostly to a lack of full GOP support. John Lorink reports.
Representative Jim Jordan is hoping the second time is the charm.
So we're going to keep working, and we're going to get to the votes.
The Republican from Ohio is seeking more support in his quest to be the next Speaker of the House. His first bid fell short Tuesday after 20 Republicans voted against him, including GOP Rep. Ken Buck of Colorado.
Jim Jordan has talked about defunding the FBI. He's talked about some things that are fairly radical to most Americans, the folks in the middle who we need to win if we're going to win elections.
Republican Representative Kevin McCarthy was voted out as House Speaker earlier this month, and until a successor is named, the chamber is basically in limbo, unable to consider legislation, including government funding. And the threat of another potential government shutdown is only a month away.
The idea that the Republicans kind of hit rock bottom and nominating Jim Jordan for Speaker, I mean, Jesus Christ, Halloween's coming early.
Jordan can only afford to lose 4 Republican votes if all Democrats are present, And House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says his caucus is in talks to reopen the House with, quote, traditional Republicans.
There are a whole host of other Republicans who are respected on our side of the aisle. Jim Jordan is not one of them.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Americans overwhelmingly seem to sympathize with unionized auto workers in their ongoing strike against major car companies. The survey shows Americans who were polled side about 3-to-1 with union members over the employers. Democrats, members of union households, and self-described liberals confess the majority of strong support for the striking workers. 66% majority says that elected officials should generally stay out of disputes between private employers and labor unions. A Georgia sheriff is offering a reward in asking the public for help in the manhunt for 4 escaped inmates. One of the fugitives was being held on a murder charge. Laura Aguirre tells us more.
Somebody is probably laughing at the TV set saying, oh, they'll never catch us. They'll never catch us. We will catch them.
Bibb County, Georgia Sheriff David Davis says these 4 men have been on the run since early Monday morning when they slipped out through a day room window.
This happened in the oldest part of the jail, the oldest, run-downest part of the jail.
After getting through holes cut in chain link fences, Sheriff Davis says the fugitives sped off in a blue Dodge Challenger with a getaway driver. Charges between 3 of the men, who range in age from 24 to 37 years old, include aggravated assault, weapons possession, and drug trafficking. The 4th, 52-year-old Joey Fournier, is accused of murder for allegedly strangling his ex-girlfriend. Before Monday's escape, at least one Bibb County leader says she saw problems at the jail.
The potential for danger is just tremendous. That jail that we have is insufficient.
The sheriff shares her concerns about the aging facility.
That's been an issue for us. Staffing, the conditions of the jail. We have a 43-year-old jail.
I think that community conversation on law enforcement, on public safety, has got to happen, and it's got to happen soon.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
It's a beautiful day outside right now, but I got rain in your 7-day forecast coming up when the NewsFeed at 4 returns.
How you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Thank you.
A place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Welcome back to the NewsFeed. As I told you before the break, it's an absolute beautiful day outside. Currently, it's 83 degrees. We're going to jump up a few notches today for the high of 85. Slightly breezy, 10 to 15 miles per hour for the wind today. As we look around the rest of the Metroplex, it's 83 in Fort Worth, 83 in Dallas. To our neighbors in the north in Denton, it's 84 degrees. For the rest of your forecast tonight, it's going to be 75 around 8 p.m. tonight. It's still good weather to go outside for a jog. As we get to midnight, it's going to cool off, 68. To start your Friday forecast, the high of 86, and it's going to get even warmer throughout the weekend. Saturday, 88 degrees, and Sunday, 89. Go out, go to the park, get your Halloween decorations up, cut your grass, just anything you can do to go outside and enjoy the weather before the rain comes next week. Start your work week off. It's going to be a high of 85 on Monday. And that's the last day with no rain in the forecast. Tuesday's high of 80, Wednesday's high of 81. As you see, we have a 60% chance of rain both Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday, the weather's going to drop even more for a high of 78. We have the rain chances will drop Thursday. They'll raise again Friday. Friday's low, a high, it's 72, with the rain chance of 50 degrees. And going into the weekend, it's going to get even cooler, so keep the long sleeves out. 65 on Saturday, 66 on Sunday. Easy and Victor, fall is here.
Thanks, Jason. Researchers have found a rare mineral compound in Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa. A team of scientists in France and Britain detected the compound using infrared and X-ray diffraction. The compound, known as plombonocrite, was found in the base layer of the paint. The chemical is an innovative way to help paint dry faster, but hasn't been known to have been used until 2 centuries later. Another example of the genius of Leonardo da Vinci. Holiday spending will likely rebound, even surpassing pre-pandemic. That prediction of holiday cheer comes from a new report from the Dulo Consulting. But the poll report indicates it's not gifts on others that consumers will be splurging on. They may be indulging on themselves and prioritizing non-gift purchases.
There's controversy surrounding a billboard truck that was parked outside of Harvard University. On its digital display, the names and faces of those who allegedly signed a statement by the student group Palestine Solidarity Committee. The statement blamed Israel for deadly terror attacks by Hamas. Some students believe the truck's message is only adding to the tension on campus. Sarah Kanji reports.
Don't put these people on this screen because it puts them in danger.
Emotions running high near Harvard as a billboard truck parks just outside campus. The display showing students' names and photos, which we have blurred, under the title Harvard's Leading Anti-Semites. The students are allegedly those who signed onto a statement by the student group Palestine Solidarity Committee, which read in part, "We hold the Israeli regime entirely responsible for all unfolding violence."
They publicly signed a proclamation. We're merely amplifying their message.
The man claiming responsibility for the billboard says the Harvard community should know who the students are.
If they're ashamed of what they did and want to apologize, we'll remove them. If they're proud of what they did, they should thank us.
Student Jeremy Ornstein urged Gillette to leave.
It's horrible with all the violence there that someone has to bring more danger to my peers. And that's the Crystal way. It's irresponsible and it's creepy.
Harvard University increasing patrols in light of the divide on campus. In an email to students, the school says, "We do not condone or ignore intimidation. We do not condone or ignore threats or acts of harassment or violence."
This issue is very sensitive, and this is a very insensitive way to portray these Harvard students.
We all live in a global community, and we have to treat each other with empathy and kindness, just like MLK said.
Sorry, keep it right here. We'll have Mitch with your Timeline Sports.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
All right, I'm in the house.
Okay, what do you see?
Nothing yet. Hold on. I think I just heard something. I'm heading upstairs.
Okay, I am almost there.
I'm in the bedroom.
Okay.
Oh, shit. It's not here.
What?
The gun's not here.
What do you mean? Where is it?
Cameron, are you in there? Open the door. Cam! Come on, Cameron.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
The dream of the perfect playoff run unfortunately came to an end last night at Globe Life Field as the Rangers endured their first loss of the postseason to the Astros. after stealing both the first 2 games of the series in Houston. The return of starting pitcher Max Scherzer to the mound wasn't enough, as the pitching struggled for most of the night. The Astros jumped out to an early 5-run lead through 4 innings. However, an impressive performance from third baseman Josh Young, hitting 2 homers in consecutive at-bats as he tried his best to keep his guys in the game. At the end, though, the Astros had an answer for every attempt. They stay undefeated in Arlington, going 4-0, including the regular season. The Rangers are back tonight for another chance of breaking that streak, as Heaney's on the mound, as the guys look to finish the series at home. Game 4 of the ALCS starts tonight at 7:03. Hockey in Dallas is back, and the rivalry between the Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights didn't go anywhere. It was fun to see such an anticipated matchup this early into the season, as it was the first meeting between these two teams since the Knights eliminated the Stars in 6 games of the Western Conference Finals back in May. In a game that had plenty of leftover animosity, the Stars were up on Vegas 2-1 with almost 3 minutes left in the third period. A potential Dallas win slipped through the cracks, though, after a game-tying goal from Vegas center William Karlsson. The Stars would go on to lose in a shootout. With an even record after their first 2 games, the Stars have plans of bouncing back in Anaheim tonight when they play the Ducks. First puck drop is at 9 p.m., so make sure you tune in after the Rangers game. And Cowboys fans, there's not a lot for you this week, as Dallas has finally reached their bye week. The boys get a chance to rest and regroup after getting a 4-2 record across 6 games. Now there's time to fix some things and hone in on the things they're already doing so well. After a tough win against the Chargers and seeing division rival Eagles fall to the Jets, the Cowboys have got to be feeling good about themselves. A break is always nice with a win under your belt. And that's it for your Timeline Sports.
Thank you, Mitch. Many people are in the middle of Sober October and staying away from alcohol. And it might be easier these days with the rise of non-alcoholic beers. The Wall Street Journal reports that sales of non-alcoholic beers jumped 32% last year. Data from Euromonitor says the trend is even more pronounced in Western Europe. Reasons for the rise in popularity of non-alcoholic beers include, thanks to technology, better taste.
Surveillance video caught the moment a father punched a school bus driver in Maryland. The bus was full of elementary school children and was late arriving to the bus stop. Brad Bell explains what happened.
School bus surveillance video obtained by 7 News captures the moment a man lunges onto a bus and strikes the driver as a child screams. The driver, a substitute on the Lake Arbor Elementary route Friday, was late at the stop, and the adults were angry because when the driver showed up on schedule, there were no parents present as required by the school system to take custody of kindergartners. The driver continued his route, then circled back following protocol. That's when tempers flared and angry words and blows were exchanged.
That's terrible. Yeah, it's very unsafe for us. And this is not the first time that has happened.
Nancy is a fellow school bus driver who tells us as the system deals with a driver shortage and often late buses, parent behavior and driver safety has become a concern.
We never know what we're going to run into because kids go home, I don't know what they tell their parents. Parents act younger than them kids, irresponsible. And they come out there and want to fight you instead of trying to be an adult.
A spokesperson for the school system telling 7 News that the driver in this case was following protocol. The incident is under investigation and that violence against staff will not be tolerated. Bus driver Nancy also has a message for parents.
We need them to calm down. We need them to understand that our priority one is the kids, their safety.
He is an ardent supporter of former President Donald Trump, but the man known as My Pillow Guy, Mike Lindell, is facing a number of libel suits, and he says he is broke and can't pay his lawyers. Here's Lou Raguse.
This is the Lindell Report. On his online TV show, Minnesota's Mike Lindell, once a wealthy businessman and avid supporter of Donald Trump, made this stunning announcement this month.
I ran out of money. I have no money personally. Nothing left. Nothing left.
No money, he says, to pay the law firm defending him that's already owed millions.
Now, during this time, we can't pay lawyers. We can't pay lawyers, a couple $1 million a month. You're going to pay lawyers. I can't go get the money.
Lindell and his My Pillow company are facing multi-million-dollar libel lawsuits in 3 different federal courts for allegedly making false claims about rigged voting machines.
A federal judge here in Minnesota has already allowed Lindell's lawyers to withdraw.
Similar motions are pending in separate cases in Washington, D.C. and Denver, Colorado.
Tell us your full name, please.
Michael James Lindell.
In the Colorado case, a judge is also considering sanctions against Lindell for his disruptive testimony in videotaped depositions, including insults like this.
How dare him come and sue my pillow? He's a scumbag for doing that. Put that in there. Scumbag. S-C-U-M bag.
Not only about the lawyers.
You're just a lawyer. You're an ambulance chasing lawyer.
But also the judge.
That judge, you put this in the record, that judge, it's a big problem I got.
He's even accused of interrupting a deposition to appear on conservative Steve Bannon's podcast.
I'm in the middle of a deposition for a big attack on my pillow right now.
It's still unclear how the withdrawal of his lawyers will impact the lawsuits. But Lindell is using his financial troubles for a new fundraising appeal, recently telling his online audience he'll keep fighting.
We need to save our country. They asked me today, the media, Mike, what are you going to do now? Are all your efforts going to fold up because you're out of money? And I said, no.
Keep it right here. You're watching the Newsfeed at 4.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
Owen, when you came into my life, it was a whirlwind.
I just can't do it.
We didn't know what the future would hold, but we knew you would always be a part of it. Adopting you was the best decision in our life. And I am so proud to call you my son.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Your next frozen pizza might come all the way from Green Bay, Wisconsin. The frozen pizza company Pizza Crust makes $10 million a year for people all across the country. It takes just 30 seconds for the assembly line to put one together. John Erickson takes us on a
We
tour.
do all things pizza. We make a lot of crust and we top a lot of pizza.
CEO Randy Charles says 45 people here make 10 million pizzas a year. Brands including Pep's Draft House and Pep's Legit Pizza roll off this line. I asked the CEO what it means to have employees in Green Bay making pizzas for people around the country.
It's fantastic. It's always been a huge manufacturing base. People think of the paper industry, but the food industry is massive here. A solid work ethic with a lot of skill to automate and make it all happen. So we're in the perfect spot in the country to service the rest of the country.
John Griesark has what some might call a dream job. He's in research and development for pizzas and does a lot of taste testing.
A lot of pizzas and a lot of individual ingredients.
According to Report Linker, the frozen pizza market in the U.S. is expected to reach more than $11 billion a year in 2030. The report says people's busy lifestyles have them looking for convenient food options like frozen pizza.
The pizza industry never gets boring. It's always changing. There's always demand for something new and exciting.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the Newsfeed. We'll see you here next week.
We'll see you next week. Thank you for joining.